afternoon, Year 4. It's Wednesday the 27th of January and this is your RE lesson. Today we're going to consider this question. What do Christians believe about Jesus as a teacher? Remember, our big question this term is what do Christians believe about Jesus? Our specific question today is what do Christians believe about Jesus as a teacher? Okay, so what we're going to be learning, we're going to be thinking about the character of Jesus and if he would have been a good teacher. We're going to be exploring the evidence in the Bible that suggests that Jesus was a good teacher. And we're going to try and explain what Jesus' role as a teacher and the impact that had on people that he lived with and also Christians today. Okay, so in the Bible, Jesus speaks to lots of people at many different times. These are his teaching moments in the Bible. And one such time is the Sermon on the Mount. So quite a famous part of the Bible. And Jesus tells the story of the wise and foolish person. This story is in this link at the top here on this page. It's also on your task in Teams. I would like you to pause and watch the above story. Okay, so you will have come across in that story the story of the wise and the foolish person, an example of Jesus' teaching. And the wise person is the person who built his house on a solid foundation, made it nice and strong. And the foolish person was the person who built their house on a sandy foundation. It wasn't strong at all. And then a bad storm came and the house that was built on sandy foundation fell down, and the strong house that was built on a good foundation managed to survive the storm. The wise and the foolish person then. So what have we got? Well, we've got the wise person with a firm foundation, the foolish person with a sandy foundation. What do you think Jesus was teaching there? Well, Jesus was trying to teach through that story that if you are someone like the wise person, you are someone who trusts in God and has a solid and firm foundation, and that's what you need to be like. But if you are somebody who is foolish, you will not trust in God, you will have no one to trust in, you will not have that solid foundation underneath everything in your life. And Jesus was trying to say that the wise person is obviously the better one, the one that trusts in God and follows the teaching in the Bible. There are some questions for us to consider. If we're talking about teaching, what makes a good teacher? Was Jesus a good teacher? And is there evidence in this story that Jesus was a good teacher? First question then, what makes a good teacher? I've got some pictures here of some random teachers, and there's lots of teachers that you know at school and that you've experienced in the past. And I want you to pause the lesson and I want you to think, what makes a good teacher? I hope you had a little pause there and a little think and maybe a chat with your adults about good teaching. And I had a little think too, and I've narrowed it down to a few things. First of all, I think teachers communicate well. They are able to get across things that need to be said. They are able to talk, they're able to communicate, to tell other people things that are important. Part of that communication is also that teachers can listen. Teachers can listen to questions, to answers. Teachers can listen to problems that pupils might be having. They are good at listening. Teachers help. Teachers help children and pupils when they are stuck with problems in class, when they are struggling, or if they are struggling with a relationship or a friendship on the yard. Teachers help them solve those problems. Teachers challenge. Teachers make pupils think about something in a different way, or ask a difficult question and make them push themselves to really use that brain of theirs, to challenge them, to make them think even a little bit harder about something else, or to think about something in a different way. And teachers show new things. So new facts, new skills. Teachers are there to show those things to pupils. I wonder if you came up with any of those things that you think makes good teaching. Did Jesus do any of these then? Did Jesus communicate well? Did Jesus listen? Did Jesus help? Did he challenge people? Did he show people new things? And does the Bible story of the wise man give us any clues about what Jesus was like as a teacher? Thinking about what you know and using that link to the Sermon on the Mount, can you find an example of Jesus being able to do any of these things? Try to refer to a story from the Bible if you can. This is your task on Teams. It's set out like this. These are the things that make a good teacher, and you need to try and find me an example of that happening either in the story of the Sermon on the Mount that we've just heard, or a story about Jesus that you know from previous years or previous learning. That's your first task. Your second task is to design a wanted poster for a new teacher. Make sure you include all the key things that teachers need to be, and you can illustrate your poster as well. So your poster must have this on it, this idea of communication, listening, helping, challenging, and showing new things. And you need to really be imaginative and think how you can make that really interesting for the person looking at the poster. So, 2 things to do on Teams. Remember, we are focusing and thinking about, was Jesus a good teacher? That's the whole point of this lesson today. Thank you, boys and girls.